Today we enjoy many rights and freedoms, no matter how we are born, white or black, no matter what the color of your skin. About 70 years ago, people of color did not have these rights, despite being as responsible for themselves as any other person in America. 70 years ago, these people fought for their rights. A white man could kick a black man off a bus for a seat. It was in their schools, transportation, and jobs. They couldn't even drink from the same water fountain. The brave men and women involved will have their stories told today, tomorrow, tomorrow's tomorrow, and beyond.
On August 28, 1955, 14-year-old Emmett Till was brutally murdered by white supremacists. During the trial, the confirmed killers were acquitted by an all-white jury. Later, on December 1st, 1955, Rosa Parks, inspired by Emmett's story, famously refused to give up her seat for a white man. 4 days later, with the people of Montgomery, inspired by Parks, began the infamous Montgomery bus boycott. Enraged that they could not receive the rights they deserved for having the same responsibilities as of a white man, the simple right to equality for the African American citizens of Montgomery was refused.
This all begins in the early 1950s. The Highlander Folk School focused on race relations and developed many future civil rights leaders. In 1953, the WPC rallied city commissioners about unfair practices. The Women's Political Council was founded in 1946 and was the first to turn attention to the Jim Crow practices. The Jim Crow laws were local laws that were introduced in the southern part of the United States and enforced racial segregation. On December 1st, 1955, Rosa Parks boarded a bus in Montgomery, Alabama. She sat at the front of the bus and refused to give it up to a white male. The driver said he would call the cops, but still, she refused. Her acts sparked the Montgomery bus boycott, and her courageous acts gave her the nickname the Mother of the Civil Rights Movement. Rosa Parks, knowing her rights as an American citizen to equal transportation was being violated. She refused to give up her seat because she wanted to challenge racial segregation. All of this helped spark the Montgomery bus boycott and the civil rights movements.
On December 5th, 1955, Montgomery, Alabama, the people of Montgomery were baffled by segregation and racial inequality that had become all too normal. It had come to a boiling point already with the arrest of Rosa Parks. Enough was enough for the people of Montgomery. They wanted change. This protest would last 13 months. The boycott showed potential for nonviolent mass protests. 90% of African American citizens, of their own will, chose to stay off the buses. With the Montgomery Improvement Association at the head of the protest, and with Martin Luther King Jr. as the face of the movement, these men and women stood strong against inequality and injustice. The brave people of before give the people of today freedom, and seemed well entering 1956, 1 month after the boycott started. Every day, more and more people joined in. In 1976, an interview with Joanne Robinson, a boycott participant and leader, who said that the boycott was not supported by a few people. It was supported by 52,000 people. With the early success of the boycott, movement gained attention from city officials. These officials gained injunctions against boycott, and 80 of those leaders were accused of treason. The entire MIA was infringing on quote-unquote lawful business. The irony was clear, yet Martin Luther King Jr. could only watch and stand in front of the court who convicted him. They ordered King to pay 500 USD or $5,800 today, or serve 386 days in prison. The MIA persevered. Despite this tyranny, the boycott would continue until the end of the year. It would take an incredible 13 months for Congress to declare discrimination on transportation unconstitutional. This was one of the first baby steps to civil rights being secured, and a big change to our nation in securing the citizens' rights no matter the color of their skin.
In November of 1956, the Supreme Court finally ruled in favor of the boycott, declaring public segregation of buses illegal. 2 months later, December 20th, 1956, the Montgomery Improvement Association voted to end the boycott. Crowds erupted in cheer in Montgomery, ending the 381-day-long boycott. However, civil rights would not be secured. Montgomery was one big step for the citizens, but it was one small step for the bigger civil rights movement. This moment, in not just Black history, but American history, continued the journey to make America true to its founding, a country of freedom where men, women, and children could equally be treated with equal opportunity. The event would kickstart movement for civil rights, inspiring many more stories, including one Ruby Bridges, who aspired to be just like one Rosa Parks. When Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on the bus and caused a Montgomery bus boycott, she still has an impact on people recognizing injustices today. The Montgomery bus boycott is still recognized as a great symbol for Black injustice worldwide, as people still look back to this historic event. She can still be learned from after a long time because she was a great resource for African American rights still to this day. The Montgomery bus boycott showed injustices and inspires African Americans to recognize injustices to this.
A quick thanks to the NET organization, Stanford Institute, and most importantly, the great people of Montgomery who fought tooth and nail to secure civil rights nationwide.